I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full crazy.
We're going crazy.
Crazy.
When Sean Diddy Combs' properties were raided back in March of 2024, the internet exploded with one question: what would they find inside? And more importantly, would any of it expose his celebrity friends? As Homeland Security agents marched out of his LA and Miami mansions carrying boxes stacked with electronics, rumors swirled fast. If Diddy had recorded any of his infamous freak-off parties, or worse, there might be footage of serious criminal behavior. And the one celebrity whose name kept coming up over and over again, whether fairly or not, was Justin Bieber. But now, as week one of Diddy's explosive criminal trial wraps up, Justin Bieber has finally broken his silence, addressing head-on the speculation that he may have been one of the victims during his rise in the music world. We're diving into all of that right now. Welcome back to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Let's start with the man at the center of it all, Justin Bieber. Now 31 years old, but discovered when he was just 12. He went on to become one of the best-selling music artists in the world. Early in his career, he was mentored by R&B legend Usher. His manager, none other than the controversial music executive Scooter Braun. And during that climb to fame, Bieber also spent time around music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, who, not coincidentally, was Usher's mentor back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Over the years, Bieber was spotted hanging out with Diddy, attending his exclusive events, and entering spaces where only the elite of the entertainment industry gathered. Diddy's wild party lifestyle was always kind of an open secret. He joked about it on daytime shows, late-night interviews. But that image has flipped drastically in the last year. The allegations against Combs? No longer a punchline. They're dark, and they're serious. Civil lawsuits accusing him of rape, extortion. Rumors that celebrities were not only present but involved in what happened behind closed doors. One man even claimed to have real sex tapes featuring Combs and other high-profile names. And now, Diddy is officially standing trial in the Southern District of New York, facing charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking through force, fraud or coercion, and transporting individuals for prostitution. Which brings us back to one of the biggest unanswered questions surrounding this entire case. Was Justin Bieber one of his alleged victims? Well, this week, Justin Bieber's camp finally made a public statement, telling TMZ. Although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. To help us break this down, I'm bringing in former federal prosecutor Nima Romani. Nima, great to see you back here on Sidebar. First things first, this statement. The timing. Is this just a coincidence? Or does it tell us something? It's absolutely not random. Right now, one of the biggest points of curiosity in the Diddy trial is exactly which other celebrities will be named. Who joined the freak-offs? Who witnessed them? Diddy's infamous white parties are already legendary. And for the past year and a half, there's been non-stop chatter that Bieber may have been involved, or worse, victimized. So when this statement drops just as week one of testimony ends, right before key witness Danity Kane's dawn, Richard is set to testify. It speaks volumes. The government's about to unveil who they believe can back up their case. And here's where it gets even. More chilling. This all started because of a resurfaced clip from back when Justin was just 15 years old. In it, Combs casually says he's about to spend 48 hours with young Justin, and that's when all the speculation surrounding Bieber truly took off. His team had stayed completely silent until now. But I think it's important that they've finally spoken. Like many in Hollywood, Bieber clearly wants to keep his distance from the Diddy trial. There was even talk he might testify. And it seems like this statement was his way of shutting that rumor down, once and for all. I think that makes sense. Because let's face it, this trial is expected to last for 2, maybe even 2.5 months. Judge Subramanian is doing what he can to keep it moving fast, but with Cassie Ventura's testimony wrapping up, there's still a lot of courtroom time to fill. The government knows that. And that's why they're planning to call other alleged victims, ones who didn't have a romantic relationship with Combs. Because, let's be honest, Cassie's testimony was partially impeached by those emails, those affectionate texts, and those words of affirmation she sent. So now, it's all about building a case that can't be undermined. If prosecutors can bring in victims who weren't romantically involved with Combs, and especially if one of those victims happens to be a celebrity, that's a major win. Because let's not forget, this case isn't just about legal strategy. It's about optics. It's about public perception. Now, back to Bieber's statement. It didn't come randomly. It came at the end of week 1, just as opening arguments wrapped and Cassie finished testifying. That timing is important. When Bieber's spokesperson confirmed that there were people harmed by Combs, that wasn't just PR. That was signaling something. So the big question is, does this mean Bieber believes the prosecution's case? Or is he simply reacting to the broader wave of accusations in civil court? Honestly, it seems more like the former, because the most telling part of that statement was how clear it was. Bieber didn't say, alleged victims. His team said, victims. Period. That matters. This isn't a Michael Jackson situation, where celebrities are rushing to defend the accused. In fact, hardly anyone is. And for someone like Bieber, someone who hasn't been mocking the case or trying to profit off it like 50 Cent or others, to come out and directly say people were genuinely harmed by Combs. That's huge, especially because that wording was deliberate. Genuinely harmed. Shifting focus away from this reality distracts from the justice these victims deserve. There's no ambiguity in that. And sure, the defense team is trying to distinguish between physical harm and sex trafficking. But let's be honest, that's not how the public sees it. That might matter legally, but in the court of public opinion, harm is harm. And right around the time Bieber's statement dropped, a viral TikTok started making the rounds on Friday. It showed a doctored image of Bieber supposedly announcing that he was going to testify against Combs. But it was quickly debunked as fake. So, Nima, what do you think? Will we see a celebrity actually take the stand in this trial? I think we have to. There have to be independent witnesses who saw some of this firsthand. Maybe not the freak-offs themselves, but definitely the lifestyle. Because when you're talking about someone like Combs, a celebrity surrounded by other celebrities, his witnesses are going to be people from that same world. It's just like the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard trial. Kate Moss was brought in. Okay, when celebrities are involved in scandals, the people around them are other high-profile names. That's why Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and even Taylor Swift have been mentioned in other high-profile cases. It's a small circle. Hollywood isn't as big as it seems. So, when it comes to this trial, we're probably only scratching the surface. Which brings us to the question, why do so many fans believe that Justin Bieber might have been one of Diddy's targets? Well, as the legal case heated up last year, old video clips began to resurface, showing Bieber and Diddy spending time together. And the tone of those clips? People thought they crossed a line. Some said they felt awkward, others said they were downright inappropriate. And Bieber. In some of those videos, he looked seriously uncomfortable. One of the most talked-about examples was a clip from when Bieber was just 15. He posted a YouTube video titled 48 Hours with Diddy, where he said he'd be hanging out with a rapper for 2 full days. Check this out. Yo, Justin, he's in. You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy. Him and his boy, they're having the time of their lives. Like, where we're hanging out, what we're doing, we can't really disclose, but, it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream." Fans immediately started calling this out, saying this looked like grooming behavior. Diddy, spending time at home with a teenage pop star who'd just been thrown into money, fame, and power, taking him under his wing, offering gifts, opportunities, things most kids only dream of. In another clip, Diddy can be heard saying, "So as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, it's gonna be all yours. It's a little dusty, but you know, we'll get it fixed up, man." Now, sure, maybe it was all performative. Maybe it was just for the camera. Maybe Bieber walked out of there 5 minutes later. We don't really know, but the internet ran with it. The speculation around Diddy kept growing. And then, another clip surfaced. This one posted on Diddy's own YouTube page, showing him interacting with Bieber in a studio. Justin Bieber's recent interactions with Sean Diddy Combs have sparked a lot of speculation. In one awkward clip, Bieber confronts Combs about not calling or hanging out like they used to, only for Combs to admit Bieber never actually had his number, then offers it to him on camera. It might have been a joke for the cameras, but for many it felt uncomfortable and strange. Former federal prosecutor Nima Romani points out that while the clip alone might be brushed off, it gains weight when paired with the numerous allegations involving minors connected to Combs. Although these claims aren't part of the criminal case yet, several civil lawsuits allege Combs sexually abused men, boys, and even children. These allegations add fuel to the rumors and speculation surrounding their relationship. Sources told TMZ that Bieber was actually friends with Combs' sons, and many of his public appearances with Combs were likely performative. For example, in 2015, Combs gave Bieber an American Music Award for Best Collaboration and hugged him on stage, an image of friendship and mentorship. Then, in a 2020 Apple Music interview, Bieber hinted at his struggles, expressing a desire to protect younger artists like Billie Eilish from the harsh realities of the industry, but he didn't go into detail. One of their most recent encounters, reportedly in 2021, seemed even more uncomfortable. Bieber, sporting shaggy hair and a baseball cap, greeted Combs with a smile, but Combs patting Bieber on the chest led to speculation that he was checking for a wire, something unusual and raising eyebrows. Romani explains that this odd behavior fits into a larger, troubling pattern between Combs and Bieber. Despite this, Bieber collaborated with Combs in 2023 on the song "Moments" from Combs' last studio album, the Love Album, Off the Grid, which featured many high-profile artists. Over the years, Bieber's life has been an open book, with many of his mistakes and personal struggles becoming tabloid fodder. Law and Crime's Sierra Gillespie recently produced a detailed episode on Bieber's ongoing challenges for their new channel, Scandal, highlighting the scrutiny he's faced. Some speculate that Bieber's turbulent past behavior and mental health issues might stem from trauma or abuse experienced in his youth, possibly linked to powerful industry figures like Combs. While some see this as a plausible explanation, others view it as a stretch. The truth remains to be seen as the story continues to unfold. It could be true. People are definitely speculating. Being here in Hollywood, when someone like Justin Bieber starts looking disheveled or losing weight, tabloids immediately jump to conclusions. Is it drugs, relationship problems, or trauma from past sexual abuse? It's really impossible to know what he's going through, if anything at all, but he does seem to be acting and looking different lately. Some argue that since he's now making comments and reflecting on protecting young artists, it raises a big question many celebrities face. If they knew something was happening, why didn't they speak up? This same issue came up during the Harvey Weinstein scandal, where rumors about his behavior circulated for years. But rumors are one thing. How much do you actually know for sure? Honestly, no one really knows who knew what, and I don't expect this trial to clear that up. It's unlikely that any big names will be named or take the stand. But the argument that someone had to know something if these allegations are true is fair. This seems like one of the worst-kept secrets in Hollywood. How could someone sexually abuse or assault people over years or even decades without anyone noticing? Especially since many incidents allegedly happened in hotel rooms or with other people nearby. This is the same argument made about Weinstein, Epstein, and other abusers. This case isn't your typical sexual assault hidden behind closed doors with no witnesses. That's one of the things that makes this case so unique. There's going to be a lot of speculation and rumors. That's just how social media works. We even saw some rumors get debunked recently when Cassie clarified that the baby oil did not contain drugs. Even the government's star witness addressed some of these rumors on the stand. So, it's no surprise that Bieber and his team are responding in kind. Do you think Hollywood is watching this trial closely? Absolutely. Many people are scared of getting caught up in it because these kinds of allegations can ruin careers, even if they're only allegations. If someone knew something and didn't say anything, and then a witness takes the stand, it could be damaging. Maybe Cassie is well prepared and sticking to her story, but we don't know what other witnesses might say. Having worked on many cases ourselves, we know witnesses can go off on tangents or bring up new allegations, which can be damaging both inside and outside the courtroom. If he is convicted, do you think others might finally come forward and say, "This happened to me, and now I want to share my story"? I believe that's very possible. There are likely people who have been afraid of him, but if he is locked up for life, those people might feel empowered to speak out.